What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. Figured I would go live and just we could have a little discussion about what's going on in the markets. We'll go over KEEL. We'll go over a couple other stocks. If y'all have any recommendations, drop them down in the comments and we will look at the charts. I also have a video about Trump and the Fed wars and what they plan to do about rate cuts and stuff like that. We'll watch that video and kind of go over it together. This is my first live stream, so I'm super excited to be doing it. So hope everybody enjoys it, and we'll just sit back and have a little bit of fun. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'll give everybody a little while to file in. Like I said, we'll be going over a couple of tickers. If you guys have any recommendations, put them down in the comments, and we will go over them. We're going to watch a video on Trump about what he says about wars and the Fed and the rate cuts. We'll go over that together. So first off, I want to go over KEEL here. And like I said, if everything sounds good, put it down in the comments. Let me know. This is my first, live stream. So kind of want to get everything in order and get everything in check. So again, hope everybody's doing well. Figured I'd go live because the markets are closed. There ain't shit really going on today in the markets. So it's a good day to just kind of go over everything, what happened this past week, and kind of talk about KEEL and, that big drawdown it took yesterday. And if you hear anything in the background, my son's here. I'm off work today, so I'm on kid duty. So that's what you hear in the background. But anyway, so I kind of first I want to start off going over KEEL and, what really happened with it yesterday and why people are freaking out and stuff like that. So first off, someone compared Cypress chart to KEEL's, sort of forecasting a bull run with KEEL. Seen that on X. We can take a look at it. Let me pull it up here. So first off, I have KEEL's chart here, and this is kind of zoomed out with the daily here. And, this is what I tell everybody. Yes, we experienced a pretty big sell-off yesterday, and you can see here. And also, if we draw a trend line, you can also see, we're making higher or lower highs and lower lows here on the daily. But what you can also do is just zoom out a little bit, man. Look how much KEEL has ran just since April 1st, right? It has done nothing but go straight up to the right. It had a pretty good correction back in June. We had a good pump again at the end of June. Now we're seeing a sell-off, right? And the overall thing, and I'll pull up the Cypher chart here in a second as well. But the overall reason we're seeing this is the AI data center infrastructure plays, they're all seeing a sell-off. Like, let's type in here. Nebius. We'll pull up the Nebius chart. So if we look at Nebius, even them yesterday, look at that big nasty red candle. Like, all of them are selling off. Nebius was just at almost $300, and now it's back down at $215, right? So the broader market of the AI data center infrastructure plays are selling off because of that Meta announcement. And what Meta announced is they're going to be selling their excess compute, which that just made everything sell off. Another one, if we check out, is CoreWeave, which is another company I'm pretty bullish on. It got hit hard over the past couple of days. It's down at $82. If we zoom out on CoreWeave, you can see it's in a massive downtrend. But it, like, when Meta made that announcement, the bottom just fell slap out of this thing. So is it overdone? I think so, 100%. Let me get back to the comments here. Is it overdone? I think so, 100%. Let me pull up the Cypher chart for you. Let me see. CIR or FR. CIR. FR. CI. So if we pull up Cypher mining, I mean, yeah, dude, they're pretty. If we look, I mean, they're almost identical, right? They're like, if we drew that same trend line, it's almost identical. And you can also see their rally they had at the start of April, went up, had that sell-off in June, came back. So they're all moving together. That's what I want to get across to people is it's not a KEEL thing, right? People are like, oh, it's over for KEEL, blah, blah, blah. They haven't made any announcements. And if you zoom out, man, their timeline has always been mid to late summer, right? And it's like I posted in my video yesterday, we just got into midsummer, not even barely, right? So you got to give the company time to execute. And now, if it was just KEEL falling by itself, then that we could be a little worried about stuff. But as we see, it's not just KEEL; it's every company in that sector, right? Cypher Mining, you have Nebius, you got CoreWeave, you got KEEL. They're all doing the same thing because of that announcement from Meta. And I really, really think it's overdone, in my opinion. Really, really think it's overdone. So, these are the times where you're going to get tested. These are the times where you gotta, re-go over your thesis and keep that, firm foundation. If you need to wake up every day when you hold a speculative name like KEEL Infrastructure, right? You have to wake up every day and remind yourself, is this a company I still want to hold? If the answer is yes, then a 14% pullback should be a huge opportunity in at least in my opinion it is, right? If you have strong conviction in a company like I do with KEEL, you should see these opportunities as not a scary situation, right? You don't make money by buying the hype and at the top. You just don't. Yes, you can make a couple of percent here and there, but you make money when the stock drops 14, 20%, right? That's when you make the money. You have to buy the fear. If you are scared to buy the fear, especially in a company you have conviction in, it's not, you're never gonna, have a 10 bagger or 5 bagger or whatever you want, because in order to have, whatever multiple you want on a stock, you can't sell it when it drops, right? Let's pull back KEEL back up here. And also, looking at the KEEL chart again, if we zoom out here, you can also see what level we're at here. Let me get a. So if you look right here where it has bounced back here in May, this is the highs of May, and you can see it's found some pretty good support. And if I had to guess, let me click back off here. If I had to guess, if I can make a range, I want to see. I don't really use Legend at all, but I would say from here to here. Let's just go to the swing low here. So this level is where I think if it drops into this box, you back the fucking truck up. At least that's what I'm going to do. Like, this is going to be a huge, huge, huge buying zone for me. I mean, it's already in the buying zone because you can see it bounce right off of this high back in May, right? And if we zoom in, I mean, it bounced off of it perfectly. So hopefully, and what we can see is, could KEEL consolidate here for a little while? Yes, it could, and it would be healthy for it. It would be healthy for it because it went on this huge run really off of no news. It made this run completely off of speculation, right? Of there potentially being a deal coming. And that's not necessarily healthy for a stock. So seeing where it's dropped back down to pre-hype is bullish in my opinion, because it gives it a chance to cool off. It gives all the indicators a chance to reset. It gives investors a chance to keep accumulating. And then when those deals finally do get announced and come out, this thing can see another leg up, right? And, oh, shit. Let me delete that. And if you want my price target and opinion, right? Let me zoom out here. I think we could see KEEL. Let me see if I can figure out how to use this thing perfectly. So if we go, I don't like that. Sorry guys, I'm learning how to use, I'm used to TradingView, and now that I'm trying to use Robinhood, it's just a little different. It's a little different. So let me see here. Zooming out. Trying to find the range I want to, about from here to here. This is going to be my price target by end of year, is this box right here. And I wonder if we can see the percent. So I'm not going to be able to pull that up. But anyway, this is going to be the price target between $10 and $12 by end of year if they can execute on their announcements. Let me see. Any new leads on the potential KEEL Amazon connection? Yep, no new leads that I've seen as of now. Let me pull this up. We're still just speculating on what things could potentially be. But the interesting thing about their data center location in Moses Lake is literally it's a stone throw away from one of Amazon's data centers, right? So it would kind of make sense for Amazon to also, just start working out of the KEEL data center because it gives them that overall real estate right there together. So in my opinion, I think if I had to go out on a limb and guess who the new partnership was going to be with, I would strongly guess Amazon, in my opinion, right? And I'm also bullish on Amazon as well. Yep, no new leads that I've seen. Like I said, right now, if you go on X, you're going to see nothing but a bunch of bullshit. I hate to say it. And if y'all watched my video yesterday, you seen how fired up I was when I went on X yesterday, seeing some of people's comments. Like, it was just disgusting. But anyway, moving on from that, and we will go back over it here in a second. I wonder if I can share this. Okay, so I want to watch. This is Trump on Fed wars and rate cuts, and this is what he has to say.
It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me in this incredible place, and
It's a nice place.
Happy Independence Day and happy.
Let me know if you guys can
semi-quincentennial.
Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear this. If you can't, let me know, and I will try to figure it out.
Yeah, that's true.
If I got that right.
Thank you.
250 years, and I just want to start flying at about 40,000 feet, and just which you've done in pretty nice plane lately, by the way. I saw that. Yeah. What's so amazing about this country in 250 years? You always say like never been seen before. There's never been a country like this that's ever been seen in the history.
Well, a lot of people don't understand that right now we are in a golden age. You understand it very well. You cover it very well. We have more factories being built today than ever before. We have more.
I do want to pause it and say this real quick. Yes, we're watching Trump, but this does not express my political views, right? If you're invested in the stock market, you have to follow along what the president of the United States is doing, especially a president like this that is so intertwined with the stock market. No matter what your political beliefs are, you have to keep up with it. It is so important. It is very important. So, watching Trump and watching what he has to say has no reflection of my political views whatsoever. I just want to, say that right off the bat, because I know it's a very touchy subject for some people, and I just like to get that across right at the beginning. So anyway.
People working today than at any time ever in the history of our country, and people making more money than they've ever made. I'm not talking about rich people. I'm talking about people that have like normal or normalized jobs, more money than they've ever made before. 401ks are up at levels that they've never seen before, up 80 and 90%. And the stock market's at an all-time high. I think it's 81 days out of a short, year and a half. 81 days, we have 81 records. So nobody's ever seen anything like that.
Or if it backs up, I think saying a record.
Well, if it backs up,
the
we won't
S&P or the
talk about
NASDAQ
it.
or the Dow another all-time high. But
you said if it backs up, hopefully it won't. But
well, on
if
any
it does,
day,
I will not be talking about it. I'll be talking about another stuff.
But an unbelievable quarter, unbelievable first half of the year. Your first term, we saw, I think, if depending on what you measure it from, either 80% from election day, I think, 70% from inauguration.
First term was great. First term was.
It might even be at a faster pace.
This is better. So the first term, we had the most successful 4 years, including the COVID. When you include that, when I handed it off, it was literally. I mean, you look at the numbers. We had the highest market in history. First term was great financially. This is, I think, blowing it away. I think this is going to blow it away.
So we had the jobs number today, which is weird because it's Thursday, but the markets aren't open more. But 57,000 jobs were below expectations, and I think there were some revisions, but the job market has been stronger than people anticipated. However, we had $90 oil at 67, 68 today,
Right.
and 57,000. Would you say that gives Warsh, the new Fed chairman who you chose, more flexibility to cut? Because for a while we thought the next move might be a hike. Now it's the stars are aligning, would you say, for him to cut?
Well, he's got a board that maybe is a little bit hostile, and unfortunately, and maybe a board that wants to do the wrong thing. So I don't know. He's a great guy and a great pro, and I know where he'd like to be, but he has to do what he has to do. I really think that I would love to be able to get back. In the old days, probably maybe before you started thinking about these things, but if you go back 20 or 25 years, when you announced great numbers, the stock market went up. When you announced bad numbers, the stock market would go down. Today, it's the opposite. When you announce good numbers, the stock market goes down, sometimes really way down, depending on how good. The better they are, the more, because they have this phobia, they have this horrible derangement syndrome about inflation. And growth can be good for inflation, not just bad for inflation. And it's a shame. Anytime numbers are announced that are not so good, I wish I could flip it the old way, that when you announce great numbers, because otherwise it's almost like they want to kill strength. They want to kill success. You announce good numbers. I want to, you have a couple of countries. India is one, doing very well, but it's at 7-8%. Others, take a look at Japan's numbers. I mean, they're doing very well. She's very good. She's doing a good job, a friend of mine, but they're allowed to go up. We're not allowed to go up. If we go up, they want to kill it. There's no reason we should stop at 4%. We should be at 12% and 13% GDP. And I hate what happens where in the old days that's how we built the country. Now you announce positive things and they want to bring it down by raising interest rates. And it shouldn't be that way. It should go back to the way it was.
So, like I said, that was Trump going over, about the Fed and interest rates and stuff like that. And to all the people that were freaking out, oh, Trump's going to control the Fed, he's planting Warsh in there to control the Fed. And if we have watched anything, let me get this off the screen here. If we have seen anything, especially from what Warsh has said recently, is he don't give a fuck what Trump's saying, right? He was put in there to do his job. And that's what they're going to do. The Fed is an independent part of the government. They're not swayed by the President of the United States. It's just not going to happen. And I really think Warsh is going to be very good for the Federal Reserve. I think he knows what he's doing. He's an ex-finance guy. The Drunken Miller guy, he used to be with them. And I really do think he's going to get shit on the right path. And I'm bullish. I'm bullish on Warsh. I really don't think we're going to have any kind of rate cuts or rate hikes this year, because if we check out, let me see, do I have it on here? Wanted to check out crude, see where it was at. Yeah, crude oil futures. Yeah, it's under 70. Crude right now is under 70. And if we zoom out and see where we were just a couple of months ago, or just last month, we were way over 100. Way over 100. So the next prints, I think, are gonna come in hot. But then after that, it's gonna start easing, and it's gonna start, averaging. Inflation is gonna start coming back down. And I don't think there's gonna be a reason for a rate hike, right? I even think potentially we could see a rate cut maybe at the end of the year going into 2027. So we'll see. Moving on, I do want to cover a few of the SoFi announcements that came out over the past couple of weeks here. Let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, so they did come out and they announced Composer by SoFi. And basically what this is basically, telling what Robinhood is doing with their agentic trading accounts. So it says investors have never lacked ideas. The challenge has been turning those ideas into strategies that can be tested, refined, and executed consistently. Whether an investor believes market volatility will rise, interest rates will fall, or certain technical signals indicate an opportunity to buy, sell, acting on those views has traditionally required coding skills, multiple software platforms, or hours of ongoing portfolio management. Composer by SoFi changes that. Investors can leverage advanced AI to create, test, and automate investment strategies using natural languages rather than requiring investors to start with a detailed strategy or perfect prompt. Composer guides users through the process, helping them discover, refine, and build investment strategies step by step based on parameters and selections they control. So, in my opinion, this is super bullish for SoFi. Yes, are they, kind of trailing in Robinhood's footsteps, but that's not a bad thing. Robinhood is innovating at a crazy level. And I think SoFi can follow behind them, see the mistakes Robinhood has made, and, come out with a better product, in my opinion. So I'm super bullish on SoFi. SoFi is one of my second largest holdings in my portfolio outside of ETFs. And, I'm very, very long on SoFi. They also announced a couple of days ago, SoFi introduced small business loans to help members pursue their business ambitions. So this is another thing they're launching. See, SoFi, they're not just a bank, man. And I get irritated so much when people say, oh, it's just a bank, blah, 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 blah. SoFi is doing so much, man. They have really, came out and done great things with their Invest platform. And they're trying to cater to absolutely everybody, which is so bullish in my opinion. Hey, Waylon, turn that down, please, just a little bit. Sorry, guys, my son, he's on his tablet. But today, small business owners are ambitious but increasingly constrained by cash flow. Access to capital can be time-consuming and expensive, leaving some owners reliant on credit cards, waiting on slow bank decisions, or weary of alternative lenders with unclear fees or high rates. Let me see. SoFi has seen strong demand for financing across several small business categories, including construction, healthcare, professional services, and more. SoFi Small Business Loans provides eligible business owners with capital to help small businesses move forward, quick eligibility check, and funding after approval, simple upfront pricing, predictable payments for easier planning. So not only has SoFi done big business banking, launched their stablecoin, they're also dipping into small business loans, which is super bullish in my opinion. Thanks for the coverage. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping in here, man. I've seen you in the comments of every video, so I really, really appreciate your support and all the support so far. It's been amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. If there is anything, any tickers or any projects you guys want me to cover, please feel free to drop it in the comments, and I will pull those up and, kind of go over everything. Just give me whatever you guys are into, and, we'll go over that. I also wanted to show here, let me give me a second here. I'm going to pull up a few more news bits. But let me know what y'all are, are y'all taking advantage of that dip yesterday? I know a lot of people were freaked out, man. A lot of people were freaked out. Let me see. Kind of want to just go over let's see. I want to go over an article on KEEL. God dang it, all these fucking ads. All right. So if I can share this screen, can y'all see it? Yes, okay. So KEEL Infrastructure shares fall, nearly wiping out June note sales amount. So KEEL Infrastructure stock dropped 13. It was more than that. Putting its market cap at $2.82 billion. KEEL dropped about $447 million in equity value during the season using Google Finance share count figures. That loss lines up with the 445.4 million in net raised from June convertible note offering. The stock has moved into the Russell 3000, lifting its profile. Now the question is if KEEL can convert its 2.2 gigawatt pipeline into leases before cash burn becomes a problem for valuation again. KEEL Infrastructure slid hard Thursday, giving back nearly as much market cap as it raised in June in a June convertible note sale. The drop came 3 days after its addition into the Russell 3000. Shares changed hands at $4.64, down 13.6% after dropping to an intraday low of $4.47. Google Finance listed 603 million shares outstanding, which means the market cap dropped by around 447 million from the last close. KEEL wrapped up a 458 million convertible senior note deal on June 9th, with about 445 million in net proceeds before costs tied to the offering and capped calls. God dang it. So you can kind of see here, just gives an overview. The drop in the stock matters as KEEL is moving from Bitcoin mining to more capital extensive data center and energy infrastructure plays. With shares lower, future funding could get more costly despite the current note's low coupon. KEEL said the notes pay 1.25 interest and can convert at around $7.41 a share. That's about 60% more than Thursday's close at $4.64, and sits just above Google Finance 52-week high of $7.37. The stock has traded away from the conversion price right after the deal. So you can kind of see what this is. The initial conversion price was $7.41, roughly 60% higher. Cap call price was $11.86. 52-week high for KEEL is $7.37. And look at this, guys. The 52-week low on KEEL was $2. So we are still much, much higher than it was, right? So KEEL said some of the note proceeds went to cap call deals to help cut possible dilution up to an $11.86 share price. The rest could go to corporate uses like deposits on long lead gear or letters of credit for data center work. The company earlier told investors that it had around $533 million in liquidity as of May 8th. That included about $336 million in unrestricted cash and $197 million in unencumbered Bitcoin. From January 1st to May 8th, it said it sold 269 Bitcoin for $20 million as it wound down that position. Our liquidity is about $533 million. That's enough to fully fund capital needs for Panther Creek, Sharon, and Moses Lake, including lease execution and construction kickoff for Moses Lake, plus G&A through 2028. Chief Executive Ben Gagnon said back then that KEEL had moved its base to the U.S., pulled out of Latin America megawatts, and shifted its pipeline to target tight supply in North America HPC and AI markets. Gagnon said lease execution at Panther Creek, Sharon, and Moses Lake is next, set for 2026. That's another thing I want to push across to people. Their guideline was for end of 2026, mid to late summer. Give the company an opportunity to execute. And, I really do think they're going to. Again, nothing has changed in the thesis. They did a capital raise at a great time, right? The prices have came down since then, but they got over $1 billion on their balance sheet to use for whatever they need, construction-wise, lease execution, or whatever. You want to say hey? Come on, you can say hey. Hold on, guys. You want to say hey? Say hello.
Hi.
All right. Let me get back to it here. Oh, my computer's dying. I'm going to have to wrap up here in the next couple of minutes, guys. My computer is dying on me. All right, so we'll get through this article and go over a few more things. Leases are getting more attention after the latest price move. KEEL posted first quarter revenue of $37 million, down 23% from the same period last year. The company had an operating loss of $98 million and adjusted EBITDA of minus $17 million. So, that's something to expect when they're wrapping down or they're scaling down their Bitcoin mining and they're hopping into the capital, extensive HPC and AI stuff, right? They're in the build out phase. So you're going to see a loss of revenue. That's not a really, shocking thing to see right now, especially when they're, transitioning their entire business. KEEL joined the Russell 3000 at the open on Monday. Gagnon said that the company spent 18 months advancing our energy pipeline and expects the next index slot will put KEEL in front of a wider group of investors, which is my thoughts as well. Being a part of a tracked index is great exposure for, institutions and just more attention from investors because, it puts out inclusions and exclusions every time it adds and removes companies from the index. The FTSE Russell said roughly 12.2 trillion in investor assets track or use the Russell U.S. indexes, and the rebalanced indexes start trading with the U.S. stock market open on June 29th. NASDAQ's regular cash equity trading goes from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. All right, but that's about it. That wraps it up for that thing. So I just wanted to go over that and just give people confidence, man. Keep your confidence. Like if you came in to this investment with KEEL, you came in for a reason, right? You came into this investment for a reason. Now, did you come in for the wrong reasons? Did you come in because you heard about the KEEL infrastructure deal from a guy on YouTube, and that's the only reason you're in this name? Then you could be in a tough spot, right? You could be in a very tough spot if the only reason you invested in KEEL is because you've seen a guy on YouTube talking about it, right? Because if that's the case, then you have no conviction, and you don't. When the price drops, you don't even know why you're holding the company, right? So it's so important to have conviction in the name. Now, if you invested into KEEL or Bitfarms back when it was Bitfarms or whatever, because you see their vision and you think they can execute on that vision, then seeing these price swings should be a nothing burger to you guys, right? KEEL is a company with a straightforward timeline that they mark out perfectly in their, investor presentations. They have a plan. They have the properties. They have the gigawatts, right? Just give them time to execute. And I fully 100% think that over time, KEEL is going to execute on everything they have promised. I think they will. Now, come the end of summer or Q4, if KEEL has not come out with any kind of lease announcements, if they have stayed stagnant, there's been no announcements on X or, press releases from the company proper, then I'm going to start reevaluating my thesis, reevaluating what this company is doing, and go from there. Could we lose money in the process? 100% we could. That's how investing works, especially if you're, you're swimming around in the waters of small cap companies, right? Especially in small cap companies. But there's also massive opportunity for the ones that can stomach the volatility. And that's what I really want to get across to people, is investing isn't easy, right? You can't just put your money in and wake up the next day and it's done a 10x, right? Back in the early days of crypto, you could have done that, right? But the crypto markets are even maturing now, and you have to be in it for the long term. You have to have a long-term mindset, and over time, you're going to pick winners and you're going to pick losers, right? But hopefully the winners outweigh the losers, right? And I think KEEL Infrastructure is going to be a winner, in my opinion. I really think it is. I like the way Ben goes about things. I like his vision. I like how he's got things mapped out, how he plans on using capital, and how he plans on transitioning from their old Bitcoin side of things. So we just got to give it time, guys. We got to give it time, and I really, really do think the time's going to be worth it if we can just hold through these, these lows. If we go back over, let me pull up KEEL one more time here. And I'll kind of, again, show you guys my price targets for KEEL by the end of the year, at least. I think KEEL could get, guys, I think KEEL, if over a couple, more years, we could see this thing maybe $80, $85 if they execute on what they're supposed to, right? So this is my price target for end of year. Is going to be between $10 and $12 if executed, right? If they execute on what they promise. And this other bar down here, for people that's just tuning in, is going to be the heavy, heavy accumulation zone, right? Even where it's at now, I should honestly probably pull this up a little bit. Wait. I'm going to pull it up to about right here. This area right here is going to be basically like a 3x DCA zone, right? And yesterday I did exactly that. Now KEEL right now makes over about 14% of my entire portfolio, which is a lot. So I have a pretty big bet on KEEL infrastructure, and it is what it is. That's my bet, and I think it's going to do great. So wrapping things up, let me go back. I want to go back and kind of show you guys. Let me see if I can go back to Robinhood Retirement and kind of just go over the public portfolio with you guys before we close out the live stream and kind of show you guys what the public portfolio looks like right now. We're down about $100 yesterday. So you can see we're down, and this was yesterday. We're down about 2.42%, about $81 over the past day. This is over the past week right here. We are down 1% over the past week. Year to date, we are up 0.84%, right? We're up 0.84%. So, you know, we just got to sit back and let things roll, man. Sit back and let things roll. KEEL in the public portfolio, I hold 100 shares in this public portfolio here. I own way more in my private portfolio before anybody tries to say anything. Oh, you only own 100 shares, you piece of shit. You're not bullish. I only own 100 shares in the public portfolio here. So you can see the market value is $459. We are down about 10% total because the average cost is about $5.11. This was $5.41 until yesterday, and I bought more. Oh, that's funny. Look at this. It's 14% of this portfolio as well. That's kind of funny. But in my, overall, adding my private portfolio and this one, it's about 14% of my entire overall investment portfolio also. But you can see if we go down to my buys, right here yesterday, I bought 30 shares at $4.54, and I bought 10 shares at $4.99. And then the last buy before that was 5 shares, just buys every once in a while. I'll show all my buys actually. So the first buy was on May 28th was the first buy. And I did a little bit of trading with it at first. I would trade the swings, but now I'm just buying and holding. And I also, I want to pull this up for you guys before we go, because I have been talking about leap options lately. And I kind of want to give you guys an idea of the leap options that I want to dip into. And sorry for the lagginess, man. My internet is absolutely shit right now. Okay. Trade KEEL options. And I'll kind of give you guys an idea of the options that have been piquing my interest. So expiring, we're going to go all the way out to January 21st, 2028, 567 days. God dang it. So you can see there, so the $7 leap, it's down about 21%. Like, this is a juicy option right now. The $7 leap option on KEEL for 2028. I wonder if I can click into it and kind of show you guys the. Yeah, so you can see your break even is going to be $9. And then, if it gets to my price target of 10, then that is almost 120% gain. And the good part about a leap option is you get control of 100 shares and you only have to pay $205 with a delta of 0.66. So a little bit of leverage, right? You get to control 100 shares for $205 instead of 400. So you get it for half price, basically. So anyway, that wraps up the live stream, guys. We're at about 40 minutes. My computer is about to die. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in for my first live stream. I'm going to start doing these more often. I really enjoy going over everything, going over what the markets have done over the past week. Might try to start doing one at least once a week. If I don't post any videos over the next couple of days, we are going out of town for the 4th of July. So I do hope everybody has a great 4th. We're going down to the lake tomorrow and then going to the beach on Sunday or Monday, going down to the North Carolina coast. So I'll be gone for a couple of days. I'll try to make some videos in the meantime to get out to you guys. But if I don't, that's why I'll be on vacation. But anyway, guys, that wraps up the stream. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Everybody, please stay safe for the 4th. It gets wild and crazy out there. And just to leave you guys with this, nothing has changed with KEEL Infrastructure. It's still the same company. The thesis is still strong, and the conviction is still there. Firefighting, what's up, brother? You're tuning in at the end of the show, but thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm signing off now. Nothing's changed with KEEL. Again, when the price dips, it's an opportunity if you're in this thing for the long term. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Don't let the market shake you out of a position that you believe in. Don't let them do it, because they'll be the ones making money, and they're going to shake other people out and screw them out of making money. So hold strong if your thesis is strong. If your conviction is strong, hold strong, guys. So till next time, we'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all stay safe.